All right, good morning, guys. Back at it with another MLB DFS slate. I'm at a loss for words. It's it's crazy. In the wise words of every DFS guru on Twitter, no one runs worse. That says a lot right now. I I played the 5 cents, max that out. I got $10 back out of my 42. So I mean, I'm glad I got a little something back. Javier, he went six, but only had two strikeouts. Donovan Solano, 1 for 2, got a home run, three RBIs, and got walked. Got pulled. Ozzie Albies, 3 for 4, three RBIs. Austin Riley is banned. Buxton's trending towards that. Kevin Pillar got 2 for 4 with a run and two RBIs, but that was like within the first few innings. Chas McCormick, two singles and a stolen base, not enough. I think some people I saw on Twitter cashed and they were at min cash line was like 139 around that area, maybe 140. All right, let's hear your thoughts.
Well, it looks pretty great to start. I mean,
It
I don't
did.
even Solano is terrible, and the fact that he hit one out in like the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh my God, we're on to something. I mean, if he's hitting one out, then we're on our way. And then Ozzy got a 3-run double, and I was like, okay. And then Pilar, he hit a 2-run double. I was like, great. And then Acuna just paying 4 or 5 for Acuna and getting 9 is like paying a 10K pitcher and him getting you 10. It's like it's just not good enough. He drops 30 all week. We play him, he gets you 9. Austin Riley, I think he's dropped 0 for us about 15 times. I'm done with him. Um, and the rest of the Twins were pretty meh. So it's whatever. I think what really killed us yesterday was some of the other chalk getting there. I think 20%. Machado had like 30. Um, Jose Ramirez was highly owned, like 20% as well, 30 piece. Basically every third baseman except for Austin Riley. That was really the difference between cashing and not cashing. And I guess the late night hammer, the White Sox, home run after home run after home run, all 15% or so. So whatever.
I was just gonna talk my shit about the White Sox, but then I was watching the game. They pulled Dylan Cease. Someone got on. Chris Taylor out of everybody hits a grand slam, and then Freddie Freeman hits a blooper RBI single. And I went to bed pretty much crying. They better just get hot. I'm going to the game on the 23rd, so they better get hot. And I get to see Rafael Devers go over 5 with three strikeouts, and we'll probably end up rostering him that day because Giolito's on the mound. Giolito versus Paxton is the projected pitchers. Speaking of pitchers, Kevin Gausman, JP France, Joe Ryan, Alcantara, Gallen, Kopech, and the list goes on and on. It's a big slate today, but I mean, just these pitchers are terrible. So lead us off. Initial thoughts, interesting plays.
Yeah, I mean, starting at the top, Joe Ryan looks pretty good to me. I mean, Detroit's been pretty pesky recently. They gave Atlanta some trouble. They won yesterday. I think Joe Ryan is more competent than Sonny Gray, though. I think he could have a better outing here. I think he gives you a nice floor somewhere in that 35 to 40 range. I don't know if the ceiling is quite there. At 11-4, I think more of a ceiling play would be Gaussman against Texas, but he also has a lower floor. We just saw him get rocked by Minnesota, but he could also give you 60. McClanahan against San Diego, tough spot, but he's also one of the more talented arms in the league. So, I mean, take your shots there if you feel like it. Gallen probably is the best matchup of the studs, but it's also not a great strikeout matchup. Cleveland just doesn't scare me that much as like from an offensive perspective. They got like a 3-run bomb from a no-name catcher yesterday, and they still only put up like 6 or 7 runs. So I mean, you just got to get past Jose Ramirez, and you're good. So I like Gallen. If Mitch Keller is starting, I don't know. I'm kind of confused. So like Rich Hill's in the data, but Fanduel has Mitch Keller starting. Whoever's starting there, I like against Milwaukee. They're not very good, especially if Rich Hill is on the mound for like 8K. They struggle against lefties. I think he can get you like 35, 40. Kopech's looked really good playing against Seattle, sure. Deherin, I don't know how he could just keeps continuing to do it. I won't be playing him. Andrew Abbott, tough matchup against the Stros. Probably not going to get there today. 9.5. Just a little steep of a price tag for rookie arm, I think. Yu Darvish looks like to be the chalkiest guy I think you were showing. That doesn't seem all that appealing to me against Tampa, who can rock just about anyone. So I think I'm off you. Definitely not Jermaine. France. Eh. Alcantara, he's like in the same spot as Gallen, like matchup wise, just not a great strikeout matchup, but he's he's been so bad. He's just not looked great. Even when he's going 6 or 7 innings, the Ks haven't been there like they usually are. So don't think I'm gonna get to him. And I don't really like anyone below him except maybe it's odd to say like JP Sears, honestly. he's he's looked the best of the Oakland pitchers, and the Phillies are hit or miss, so whatever. And then I guess Sandoval at 8-1. That's probably where I draw the line.
Yeah, kind of like I said earlier, there's a lot of games going on, meaning a lot of pitchers, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get a lot. Christian McKenzie is on the slate at 10.5. Against Minnesota, he had 5 innings pitched with 10 strikeouts, but then he played Houston 5 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits. He had 5 strikeouts, but 5 earned. He's playing Arizona today, so it's a bit of an easier matchup. I know Arizona's been like actually kind of good this year, and I'm so used to shitting on them, but they're frisky. I can see getting to McKenzie a little bit, kind of let's see, is projected for 0.5% ownership. Not a lot of people are getting to him. 3.5% leverage. Could be an interesting spot to get difference, but then that also means you kind of need Joe Ryan to do bad. You need Kevin Gausman. I wouldn't necessarily say they're both chalk, but they're gaining some ownership. Yu Darvish is getting the most ownership at 19% at 9.3, which it makes some sense. Definitely not because I'm a White Sox fan, but also partially I like Kopech. I was reading off to Funk a little not too long ago his recent game logs. Against Miami, he got 33 because he only went 5 but struck out 6. Against Detroit, he had 7 innings pitched with 9 Ks, 46. Against the Angels, somehow got lit up, 31. Against Cleveland, 7 innings, 9 Ks, 58. Against Kansas City, 8 innings pitched, 10 Ks. Seattle strikes out a lot. As long as Kopech's got the stuff like I know he does, he's a great play. Joe Ryan, I was just looking at his game log when you were talking. The strikeout stuff isn't there. And I know Detroit likes to strike out a lot, but I mean, you saw what happened with Sonny Gray yesterday. JP France, I kind of understand the ownership there. He's 9K against Cincy, but I'm not really feeling that too much. Alcantara, no. If he was better this year, I'd say absolutely. Nothing else really stands out. If I had to rank them, if I'm being honest, I'd probably go Gosman, Kopech, McKenzie, wait, what did I say? Gosman, Kopech, Tristan McKenzie, and like Gallon. And depending on who's actually starting for Pittsburgh, Rich Hill or Mitch Keller, I kind of like both, if I'm being honest. Never thought I'd say I like Rich Hill as a pitcher, but yeah, you kind of have some options, say, to get a little different or just say screw it and eat the chalk. The one thing that kind of is a little, I shouldn't say weird, but the only difference is Gosman is playing Texas. Texas can light it up like crazy, but then again, Gosman's been great all year besides last Sunday when we played him. So, I mean, that's the only worry I have about Gosman, but nothing to be super concerned about. You know, he got rocked his last start, so hopefully he would bounce back. Um, all right, now the more interesting part. So top stacks right now: Atlanta, Angels, Philly, Cleveland, Miami, Dodgers, Yankees, Pittsburgh, and the list goes on and on and on. This is honestly an insult right here. But what do you think about stacks today?
I didn't even notice the White Sox were last. That's so funny. But
And then your little precious team is two above.
yeah,
Fuck out of here.
not looking good. But the teams I wrote down, just like from a first look perspective, I had Atlanta, Boston, St. Louis, Toronto, and the Angels. All project pretty well on Ballpark Pal. All are fairly ranked on Stochastics stack tool. The team that's showing the most leverage is Cleveland against Gallon. I just I just don't like this team. They're not. I swear they're not any good. Um, they're all cheap, so I'll give you that. They're all cheap, and they fill positions that stink, like second and shortstop, whatever. So I get Cleveland, but I'm not. I don't think I'm going to go there. Um, I think the Angels maybe one for me against Singer. Then Atlanta a close second. I think Boston looks pretty good against Jermaine. Hitting weather is supposed to be pretty good there. Wind's blowing out. Rivalry game, so maybe they'll try and show out a bit. Uh, what was the other team I said? Philly looks okay against Sears, but like I said, I kind of also like Sears. So maybe like fifth or sixth for them. And Miami is pretty negatively leveraged, but they're a pretty fun stack, I think. They got some home run ability in the middle of the lineup against Trevor Williams, who's serviceable but not anything special. But I mean, there's a million different options. I mean, the top stack percentage has Atlanta at 11%. Next closest at 7%, and then there's like 10 more teams between 5 and 7%. So lots of options today.
Yeah, pretty much right now I agree with the stacks tool, even if it changes throughout the day. So that's a good thing about Stochastic is they'll the teams will confirm a lineup and maybe I don't know, just an example, Acuna is not starting. They might go down a little bit, but sorry. So Boston you kind of opened my eyes a little bit to Boston. I think Houston looks pretty good against Abbott. I know Abbott's a young kid and he's had what two pretty decent starts. I'm not saying they were against bad teams, but I mean he's got Houston, and I know Houston doesn't have Jordan Alvarez, but definitely can be a good leverage spot there. Pretty much Atlanta, Angels, Philly, Cleveland, I get, but I mean, against Zach Gallen, I don't know if I really like them. Miami, sure. Dodgers against Mania, I can see it, but I don't know. Um, Kind of to get some leverage, I kind of like Boston and Houston. Nothing else really stands out. I'm kind of scrolling down. Toronto against Martin Perez, I guess. Because I remember like last season, Martin Perez was like going crazy, and like now he hasn't been doing that great. So you can definitely get a little different with Toronto. Minus 5% leverage. It's all the way at the bottom. I don't know. So the one thing I will say about the White Sox, I understand that they're practically last. I looked up their pitcher, Brian Wu. Hold on, I gotta pull it back up. He's had two starts this season. He got 0 against Texas. June 10th, faces the Angels. 4 2/3, 4 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Strikeouts are kind of there, and the White Sox do strike out a decent amount. Might be a great leverage spot there. They're not getting any ownership. Luis Robert and Jake Berger, Eloy, they've been hot. Just food for thought. And obviously don't prioritize them as a main stack because you're just giving out donations. So that's pretty much it for me. This is definitely a slate where you can get a little different though, because there's so many stacks you can get to and so many bats. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing something.
I mean, it's pretty easy to miss something on this massive of a slate. I mean, nothing really. There's no like obvious chalk on the hitting side. So besides Atlanta, maybe.
To be honest, I mean, Tampa and Texas, I can see people getting to. Obviously, Texas facing Gosman, but I mean, you know, we played them on Sunday and look what happened. You Darvish is pulling a lot of chalk against Tampa, which I don't understand. Maybe Darvish still has a dog in him, but I mean, you can definitely get very different with this slate. If you take away anything that we've just said, you can get different. And maybe be fine, but I don't know. You want to do lineup generator or home runs?
I got my home runs lined up.
All right, go ahead.
So I'm gonna go to the guy that never hits for us, Rafael Devers. He's going yard today. Gonna go Mike Trout and Jorge Soler. That's my three.
Sorry, I'm pulling mine up. So I've been getting very blessed with Shohei Gotani, so I'm gonna go back to the well with him. I'm gonna go Justin Turner from Boston and then Matt Chapman. So those are my three today. So MLB lineup generator. If my laptop wants to work, there we go. So this is a great tool if you're last minute and you just need a lineup built. But it's also a good way to study lineups and see what it spits out to you. So what stack type do we want to do?
We can do all for now. And everything should be pretty contrarian today because it's so massive. So you can go balanced. Don't really have a pitcher lock, do you? Kopech?
I'll just skip for now. Oh, didn't even need to lock Kopak. Look at that. Nope, not happening. 2 Miami bats or
Three Miami
3.
bats.
Not bad.
Yeah. There's a couple pieces I flop. Hey. I kind of like that.
I
500,
don't mind.
500 salary remaining is not ideal, but
I was just gonna say you can probably swap somebody like a 2,500 Pilar. You can get bumped up or whatever.
Azuna's 3K, I think. You can probably go up to him.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Got some Cleveland bats. Will Brennan, 0.5% owned. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so this is just a good tool to kind of like see what it spits out. You can obviously choose your stack type, lock in a pitcher, bats, whatever you want. I think you and me are in agreements possibly not playing Acuna after yesterday's.
No, that means he's dropping 40 today,
So that means we have to play him.
probably.
So let's just say I like all these lineups. Ooh. So then it just like the most exposed guy we're getting is Acuna at 88%. So it's liking the Braves, a little bit of KC, more Braves, sort of some Yanks here. And then, you can scroll through and find the lineups you like, all that good stuff. And then you can put into a CSV. So definitely a great tool to use.
Damn, stands 3-1. You see that?
I guess.
That's cheap.
Oh, great. That means we're going to play the Yankees today.
Just something that caught my eye.
So potentially we're going to have Giancarlo Stanton in our lineup at 3.1K.
Let's see what he is on
But
DraftKings. 5-1. Usually it's like a 1K difference, so 2K difference is quite the discount, I think.
it's not bad. Okay, wrap us up. What are we thinking? Any last minute thoughts? Something we missed?
I don't think we really missed much, but it is a massive slate. So if you guys have any of your own opinions, just drop them in the comments. We'll hear them out, and make sure to check out our lineup about 15 minutes before lock. Try to get it out there. Check out Stochastic's tools in our description, and like and subscribe if you haven't already.